A one. One, two, three. Oh wait, what is it? Three, two, one. Action.
That was gross.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Brothers on Air. This week, we are talking about DreamWorks animated movies, specifically SHREK and others. I will say, we both watch SHREK, and then we watch other ones, and we're going to surprise each other with it. By the way, spoiler alert! This is a not spoiler-free zone. So if you don't want any spoilers,
need a spoiler alert for these movies, that's gonna be kind of sad, honestly.
Yeah, get out of here. But spoiler alert, obviously. For all the movies that we talk about, because this is a spoiler podcast. Let's just hop straight into it, Thomas. Are we gonna start with the headlining movie, or are we gonna end with the headlining movie? How do you want to roll with this?
That is a good question. Let's do Shrek last and talk about the other one we watched. We were supposed to originally do 3, then this dude only watched one other one. So, yeah. And I only I did watch 3, but all right, I watched B movie, but I didn't really take notes or anything on that. Great movie. Yeah. It's so funny.
It's a fantastic film.
It's honestly a great movie.
Even though I hate
Jerry Seinfeld.
I hate Jerry Seinfeld's voice. It's so gross.
Oh, I love it. It's so funny. It's great.
And nasty.
But we don't have to talk about that one since you only watched one. I'll talk about the other one that I watched.
All right, hit me with it.
Do you have any guesses of what I watched?
I was gonna guess El Dorado, but we already talked about.
Thought about it.
I don't think so.
Honestly, thought about it.
I'm gonna say either Prince of Egypt or Penguins of Madagascar.
No, neither of them. I really wanted to watch Madagascar actually, but it wasn't on any streaming services. So
we own the DVD. You could have stopped by.
Oh my, your screen is going crazy. No, it's good. Yeah, I know, but whatever. But you know it was on streaming service. And you know what movie you also have on DVD?
Shark Tale.
Flushed Away.
Wait, Flushed Away is the DreamWorks movie?
Yes, sir.
Wait, why is it not on this list? Oh my gosh, the movie is fantastic.
I know. Such a good movie.
Oh my gosh. What a good movie.
I ended up watching that. So, real quick synapse of this fantastic film. Basically, there is a pet rat that lives in Kensington, London. Screen's going crazy, but it's okay. His owners leave. He somehow gets flushed away into the sewers and sees a whole new world. He's like some, sophisticated kind of upscale rat, and he gets thrown down into the sewers and has to basically survive and fend for himself and things like that. Meet some people, and helps them. And then he eventually gets home by way of these people that he meets. This girl that he meets, Rita. Main character's name is Roddy, if I didn't mention that. And then he figures out the bad guy's plan, comes back and saves everyone. Super rough synapse, right? First off, Isaac.
Yeah.
Do you know who the main character is voiced by? Do you know who Roddy is voiced by without looking it up?
Oh my gosh, I haven't seen that movie in so long.
I know. I hadn't watched it either.
I can't remember the voice.
Even if you remember the voice, I bet you wouldn't get it. Dude, it's Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman?
Hugh Jackman.
What?
Yeah, I was actually, literally in my notes here, I put in all caps, Hugh Jackman is Roddy? What?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Didn't know. It was his first.
That's so funny.
It was his first, what's it called? The voice acting movie. Oh my gosh. Oh, your screen went crazy. It was really funny. It's his first voice acting movie. And he went on to do a couple others. I know he was in Happy Feet and some other stuff. But yeah, he's the main character. What was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, so you've seen the movie a couple times, back in the day and stuff. Do you remember like, where did I write it down? Okay. I totally and completely forgot why Rita was originally helping Roddy. Do you remember why?
I can't. I don't remember like the scenes of that. Well, he got flushed down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like a gem?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He like promised her that he could give her like
Oh,
the gems and stuff that
yeah.
were real. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally forgot that.
Yeah.
That's like such like a minor thing in the movie that like I totally completely forgot it. Anyway,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed
He goes
this
like,
movie.
yeah. Because he
Um,
goes. Let me finish what I'm saying, because
sorry.
I wanna prove to the people that have seen this movie. Because he goes like he grabs a gem that was like her like dad's or whatever, and he's like, this is fake, and then just like smashes it on the boat, and it breaks into glass, right?
Yeah, it was she stole it from the toad and allegedly it was like a
Oh
crown
yeah.
jewel that was flushed
Yeah.
down and he's like, "Nah, it's actually fake." And she was going to like help her family with it and he like breaks it. He's like, "See, they don't break." And she like gets real mad and he's like, "Hey, I can
Yeah.
give you like real ones." Um
Yeah.
but yeah, I really love this movie. I'm just going to run
Mm.
through my notes really quick cuz yeah, I don't really have too many, but only a couple. First off, fantastic opening sequence. Do you remember
Isn't
it?
it like in the yeah.
Right when she
They like
his
leave.
owner like leaves and there's like
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what song plays. It's I don't remember. Oh, it's Dancing with Myself or whatever.
Mm.
So he's like going around the house like messing around with like his like friends that are just like dolls, like those like Barbie dolls and stuff, like playing volleyball and like cruising around his like RC car and stuff.
Mm.
Uh when he picks a movie for the premiere or whatever, all the real movies are all DreamWorks animation movies, which is kind of cool on the
Oh
shelf.
really?
Yeah,
That's cool.
I
That's
noticed
funny.
that. Also, there's like I noticed when he was rescued and came back to his like room, one of the books is like a Shrek book.
Mm. What
Um,
the heck?
yeah. Soundtrack in this movie is so good. It's
Mm.
so good. It's amazing.
I
I
remember
love
that.
the Nemo reference when he's flushed down and he like grabs the fish and he's like, "Have you seen my dad?"
That's funny.
So good. Um, American tourists in this movie are so good. Like when he's like wandering around the like basically like Rat London at first, there's like
Yeah.
the American tourist with like a massive cowboy hat and he's like trying to
Mm.
like antagonize like the British guard that like doesn't move. And then at the end of the movie when the World Cup is going on, he's like yelling at the TV because this isn't football, and he's like, "Oh, it was so funny."
But yeah. Yeah.
Um, so this, oh my goodness, dude, your camera is
What?
so whack. What is going on
It's
with
not
your
even
stuff?
me. Dude, literally my side looks fine. I think it's your side.
No, it's not. I don't know if it's your internet or your camera or what is going on.
Definitely.
But we only had
Literally,
started having this problem like last week.
my video connection has said it's fine like this whole time,
I don't know.
and I literally have
I can
no
still
other
hear
tabs
you,
open on
but
my laptop.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well.
Anyway, so this is like a claymation movie, but this is actually the first fully computer animated claymation movie. So everything before this, Wallace and Gromit, Chicken Run, those
Mm.
movies that I think it's Rodman Animation is the
Mm.
company that makes these. Those were like actual claymation, whereas this was digitally done. They decided to do that because of all the water that they had to animate.
Okay.
But apparently in the software they made something so that it still had like imperfections on them, so you could still see like fingerprints and like textures and
Mm-hmm.
stuff, which is kind of cool.
That
Um,
is cool.
but the detail in this movie is super cool. I loved it. Like there's a couple of times where there were like close up shots of like Rita's hair looked super good. Her like sweater
Yeah.
looked awesome.
Yeah.
The water looks good in this movie.
They got to be like super creative with it because like they made a whole like underground sewer world, and
Yeah,
you can just like literally anything anybody would like flush away, they just
yeah,
made into a city, which is always kind of cool.
yeah. Another thing, I love the comic relief in this movie. The two rats, the henchmen
Oh
guys, Whitey and
yeah,
Spike, they're
yeah.
so funny. I love how like one of them's like an albino rat that was like in a shampoo factory or something like that. He was saying, Um,
Funny.
and then Spike is like this tough guy that's just like an idiot that like can't do anything right. Like he's
That's
like,
great.
keep your legs straight when you hit the water, and like that's like a callback throughout the whole movie. It's so good. So
Wait, Andy Serkis was the rat guy?
which one?
The slick back hair, like the small one, not the big guy.
Spike?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
That's wild.
Yeah. Dude
Wow.
has the craziest IMDb page ever.
Yeah, honestly. It's like in any movie that like is just a whole, you'd think that the video is just all blue screen, he's in it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I love how I thought it was funny, it's still funny that the Toad is obsessed with the Queen. I don't know why. That's just hilarious to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Nothing. Yeah, doesn't he like want it? Like, isn't he kind of like a kingpin, right? And he wants to be like
royalty.
Yeah.
Yeah, like at the end of the movie, he has like a crown on and stuff.
Yeah.
It was
like
funny.
The only Toad. Yeah. Oh wait, doesn't he have like a tank of kids that are like all tadpoles or something?
Yeah.
What the heck?
He wants to repopulate the sewers when he washes all the rats away with like just like his children. Little things that I thought were funny when Roddy steals the boat because he thought that Rita and her family was like planning to like sell him back or whatever, or trade him back. Mm-hmm. He like right before that he like tells her mom like he can clean this dish, and then he overhears them. When he steals the boat, he's still hanging on to the bowl. I don't know why I thought that was hilarious. Again, calling back to like the comic relief, the banter between these two like dumb rats, Whitey and Spike. The one goes bingo, and then he goes Scrabble. He's like, enough games, let's go. Just all of it was so funny. I absolutely love that. And then last couple. What?
One thing like I can like kind of see, like DreamWorks is like pretty good at balancing comedic relief and making like good jokes, and 100%. It's not like overpowered.
Yeah.
Like I mean, like El Dorado is another one that and SHREK, but we can get into that. That just like
it's like sneak them in.
It's never like annoying or just like ruins the moment or anything. Like it's just perfectly timed and like an actually funny, good joke.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
But, yeah.
Millicent Bystander. Every time they said Millicent, I lost it. It was so funny.
Millicent Bystander.
Remember when they're like he's like arresting them, like the two are arresting them. He's like, I'm just an innocent bystander, and they call him, listen, Millicent.
Oh, yeah.
The whole rest of the movie, when they said Millicent, I just died. It was so funny.
What a great movie.
The French, remember like the Le Frog, and he's like bandits.
Oh yeah, what the heck?
When he calls them to action, they just surrender. They're like, we surrender. He's like, no, not that. It was so funny.
That's funny.
And the last thing I noticed, which I thought was kind of a funny thing that they did, at the very end where they have to like ditch the boat, but there's the parachute. They have to like hang onto the bag, and they get sucked out of the sewer, and they're like hovering. The bag is a British Airways bag. I just thought it was funny. So they're like flying on a British Airways bag. I don't know. I thought that was cool.
That is funny. Just little tiny things.
But yeah, I really enjoy this movie. It's just so funny. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. There's a bunch of like Easter eggs throughout the movie from other DreamWorks movies. Apparently, there's like a rabbit from Wallace and Gromit movie.
Nice.
One of the outfits he like flicks through in the beginning when he's trying to choose one is Wallace's like green, what's it called? Vest or whatever. But yeah, overall, super fun. Yeah, I just I really enjoyed this. A nice little callback. I hadn't seen it in a while, so it was fun to watch it again.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Apparently there's like a bunch of like SHREK like mentions, like that book that I was talking about. Apparently there's like a picture of him on the refrigerator.
What the heck?
I don't know. It was funny.
Well, I mean, like, it would make sense. SHREK was like a massive movie.
Yeah, and this came out, I think, like 5 years after SHREK.
Nice.
But yeah, Isaac, what did you watch?
I watched probably honestly one of my favorite animated movies, like top 10, top 15 ish. That's just I always forget about is Kung Fu Panda. Kung Fu Panda is just such a nice, warm-hearted movie. First of all,
The
it's
first
Jack
one.
Black. Yeah, the first one. I like the. I mean, honestly,
Even the second one wasn't bad.
that I like all three. They get weaker, but like I like all three of them.
I honestly barely remember the third. I remember the second one's pretty good, but the first one's the best one.
Honestly, I think the third one's better than the second one, just because I just like the villain more. The second one's like a peacock, and the third one is like some goat that comes back from like the dead and fights Oogway.
I thought the third one was the second one.
Yeah, see, like the second one everybody just kind of forget. I don't know, it's not as good, but like first of all, it's Jack Black. Let's just talk about the casting in this. Jack Black is just you can't hate Jack Black. He's just funny.
It's true.
Just period.
It's true.
He's great.
He's awesome.
Ian McShane is Tai Lung, which he's been in like a lot of he's in Parts of the Caribbean as Blackbeard.
Oh, so right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Angelina Jolie as Tigress. What a name. You have Jackie Chan as Monkey. You have
I didn't know that Jackie Chan was in this.
Really?
No, I didn't know.
Jackie Chan is Monkey. I mean, maybe because Monkey has 2 lines.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Jackie Chan is Monkey. Seth Rogen is Mantis. Lucy Liu as Viper, who's just kind of an older actress, but like she's known.
Mm-hmm.
You have what's his name? Dustin Hoffman as Shifu, who's just like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I mean, he's in Rain Man, or he is Rain Man, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Can tell you.
You have then the last name I can see off here is David Cross, who's Crane. That like I recognize, but like oh my gosh, I guess James Hong is Mr. Ping. But what a great first of all what a DreamWorks always has like the wildest like people on their movies.
Yeah,
like it's so weird. Like that one, Hugh Jackman. Like what the heck?
I literally had no idea.
Like, it's so wild. But the cast in this movie, is just fantastic. I think like it's just real. It's like funny actors for their characters, and they just play every character very well. I think. What else am I saying about this movie? I don't know. Oh, Oogway. First of all, again talking about the characters, Oogway's
amazing.
Probably the most badass character ever made in an animated movie. Literally no one can beat Oogway. He's honestly, he could probably kill Pikachu. Probably. I just love that character. He's kind of just like he's like the senile old person, which is always such like an easy character, but he's just so funny. He's like the professor in Futurama, but with like chi.
Yeah.
And stuff. But I don't know. I love it. I think the music in this film and this movie is really good. It's kind of like, I mean, I think it does its job. It's just good music.
Mm-hmm.
It does its scenes well. Like I think back to the scene when he's trying to break into the palace during like the competition
or whatever.
Yeah, and just like the music that's playing there, and then the whole scene is kind of funny.
Yeah, it's great.
But that I don't even know what else I have to say on this.
I think one character.
I forgot to take notes. But,
one character I really enjoy is Poe. Poe, right? That's his name.
Yeah, Poe. Yeah.
Poe's dad, the duck.
Yeah.
I don't know why. He just makes me laugh every time I hear him talk. He's just so funny.
I just kind of like love like the random how they just like stuff like that. They're like, let's have a duck be the dad of a
panda.
Panda.
Yeah.
Like honestly, I feel like this movie is just like super creative in its own way.
Yeah.
Like just making the animals like kung fu and stuff.
Yeah, I thought that was great.
Yeah, I took a glance at the trivia.
Yeah.
And there wasn't like an insane amount. There's just a couple of things that are just kind of like interesting to me. Mm-hmm. It says the animators took a 6-hour kung fu class to get an idea of the movie's action.
Jeez.
Which is kind of kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I just remember this just reading another one. The scene where I also like this movie because the scene where he like enters the Jade Palace for the first time and sees like a bunch of relics and like historical things from like past like masters and stuff. It's just kind of cool how they're like putting all this like kind of unnecessary but like just cool necessary like backstory to this like world that they created, that there's been like a bunch of random masters, and then like the later movies they bring in like other like kung fu masters that are kind of like or not Oogway, what's his name?
Shifu?
Who's his master? Shifu, yeah. It's kind of like Shifu. Like, there's like a crocodile guy and like a bear that or not a bear, like a water buffalo that he like saves in the second movie. And it's just like, I don't know, things like that is funny to me. Also, the TV show. Have you ever watched the Kung Fu Panda television show? Honestly, that TV show's good.
It wasn't bad. Honestly, shockingly, it wasn't bad.
Yeah. Wow. Or the name. I just read this trivia one. It says the name of the prison is Chorgom Prison. Chorgom is Cantonese for go to prison, or it literally means sit in prison. Oh, also that scene that I just forgot about this. That whole scene of
the whole prison scene is amazing.
Yeah, that whole scene where he's where Tai Lung is escaping.
Yeah.
What a great like fighting sequence. Also, just like the fighting in this movie is like just kind of funny. It's like goofy and doesn't take itself too seriously, but at the same time, it's just like good.
Yeah.
Where like Poe, I mean Poe just like ends up fighting like a fat panda.
Yeah.
Just throws his body weight around, but like it works for him.
I love how like physics like don't apply to like half of the characters.
Oh yeah, they're just like
I can't like the snake
through the air all the time.
Yeah, I can't like the snake like fly somehow.
I think they all can just like jump like miles. Like they'll just be like flying through the air. It's just like, all right.
That also, the whole prison scene's awesome though. I love like how they're all like guarded by like rhinos and stuff. It's so cool. I love that.
Yeah. Also a scene that like I always really like as like a kid watching this movie is the training scene where he goes into like the thing and like each of them are doing their own like specific task things that they're all good at.
Yeah.
But
I just think Jack Black being cast as Poe is like such a great casting.
It's so good.
It just fits the character so well. Like I love it where he says something about like universe juice or something like that. I don't know why, it just got me.
It's great. Or him and Shifu start like fighting, or to train he like is trying to grab like a you hit your funny bone.
I just hit it like perfectly on this, like oh my gosh.
He's like training with Shifu for like a roll or a dumpling or something.
Oh yeah.
It's literally just like Jack Black being Jack Black. That's literally just Jack Black being himself. Like,
yeah.
I feel like Jack Black is very typecast, but it's just funny because it's just him. That's great. I feel like every time I see you go like this, and it's because my camera is just bugging out, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah,
that was kind of fun.
Whatever.
Yeah, that's a fun movie.
Yeah.
I like those a lot. Actually,
it's a great one.
Both of them are good.
Yeah, all three are good to me. But
shall we discuss SHREK?
The headlining event.
Honestly, what a classic!
What a classic! I literally haven't since I watched it yesterday.
Yeah.
I literally haven't seen this movie since I was like a kid.
And like a revisit is so good.
Oh my gosh, it is so funny. I will say though, oh my goodness, dude, these graphics look dated though. Jeez, this movie looks terrible.
I don't know. I don't think it looks that bad, but it's not like Toy Story 1 bad where you remember it being better and you watch it again, you're like, oh my gosh, this is awful.
No, first of all, I mean, I don't remember it from a kid. Like I watched it as a kid and I don't remember it, but like it was one of it's all like I'm guessing computer generated stuff. Like I looked at stuff that came out during the time, and like Atlantis came out during 2001. The Lost City of Atlantis. But like that one's like a drawn animation.
Yeah.
Like it's different, so it ages better. This one just ages so poorly.
Yeah, this
like,
is
because
fully
it was all animated.
Apparently, sorry, go.
When they went up like close, like there's like close shots of like donkey and like people, and just like the teeth looked so wild. Like it just like the hair on them just looked so weird. It was weird to watch it, but I kind of liked it. It almost like added to it.
It's just like of the time.
So old. Yeah, but
apparently it came out in 2001, and it took like 5 years to make. So 4 or 5, I don't remember how long. But I guess if you think of it like that, then it started in computer animation production started on project on October 31st, 1996, more than 4.5 years to complete.
Jeez.
So that's a long time. So I mean, it's a
Yeah.
late '90s computer animation. But yeah, I absolutely love this movie. I thought it was so fun. I remember watching it as a kid, and yeah, it's just fun. I like it a lot.
Do we want to do a synapse of it?
Sure.
At all? All right.
If you somehow haven't seen this movie,
yeah, I pulled one up just to give a little overview.
Send it.
SHREK is a grumpy, smelly, and ugly ogre. I don't even know where I got this from. I just kind of looked one up and it looks funny. Living peacefully in a swamp. One night, he suddenly finds his land has been squatted by a mass of fairy tale creatures. Pinocchio, the Three Little Pigs, Peter Pan, Snow White, Cinderella, among others, who have been banished by the evil Lord Farquaad. One of these is a donkey who just won't shut up. Accompanied by him, SHREK confronts Lord Farquaad, demanding his land back. Farquaad does him a deal, telling him to rescue Princess Fiona from a dragon-guarded castle to get his swamp back. SHREK and Donkey go to rescue the princess, narrowly avoiding being burned by the dragon. Fiona is disgruntled about being rescued by an ugly ogre, rather than Prince Charming. However, despite her differences, she and SHREK grow fond of each other. On the second night of their return journey, Fiona hides in a windmill. Donkey finds her and discovers that she's turned into an ogress. Didn't know that there was a female version of that. Thought they were all just kind of ogres. She explained that she's under a spell, which can only be broken by true love's first kiss. SHREK overhears part of this, but misunderstands and thinks she doesn't love him because he's ugly. Just as she decides to tell SHREK the truth, the sun rises and she becomes a beautiful princess again. Lord Farquaad arrives and takes Fiona to his castle, and SHREK returns to his swamp. Both are miserable. Later, SHREK, Donkey, and Dragon head to Farquaad's castle to try to stop Fiona marrying him. He tells Fiona Farquaad's true intentions for marrying her. But the sun sets and Fiona becomes an ogress again. Farquaad doesn't want to marry her and sets the guards on everybody, but Dragon comes to the rescue. This is kind of, towards the end, it's getting a little wordy and is unneeded. SHREK and Fiona kiss, therefore Fiona stays ugly in conformity with the spell. You find your true love's first kiss and then take love's true form and marry SHREK, and they live ugly ever after.
Oh my.
Yeah. Honestly, this movie, rewatching it, it seems like shorter than like I remember. For some reason, it feels like it kind of just wraps it up really quickly at the end. But it's still a great one. I love this like idea. I just completely forgot about like, it's just like so weird. It's just like fairy tale creatures living with like regular people, but like all the fairy tale creatures are all like kind of off. Like there's something weird about them.
Well, did you notice that like pretty much all of them are Disney?
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they are Disney. What the heck?
Yeah, so what's his name? Where's the dude? It was dang it. Come on. Where's the guy? I just saw dude's name.
What are you looking at for? The director or the writer?
Neither. I literally just saw it. 1 second. This is gonna kill me. Oh, there it is. So DreamWorks was a creation of Steven Spielberg, David Geffen, and Jeffrey Katzenberg. Katzenberg once ran Disney's movie and television divisions, but was denied the second-in-command post by the chief of the Mouse House, Michael Eisner. So because that happened and like a couple other things, there was like a big like thing that happened in like the late to mid 90s, I think. And so Katzenberg left I think in the late 90s, and him and Steven Spielberg and David Geffen started DreamWorks. So because of that, there's like a couple little like influences from Disney, which I thought were awesome. But yeah, so like most of the fairy tales from the Seven Dwarves, Snow White, Mirror on the Wall, Cinderella's in there, Peter Pan was in there. Like there's a bunch.
Oh gosh. Yeah. I like just thinking back at it now, I didn't even realize it then, but they also like never like said, like I don't think they really called them by their names though. Like when they were doing like the whole scene with the mirror and Farquaad is going through like the princesses, they never were like Cinderella, or maybe I
No,
don't
they
think
did.
they were like Cinderella's. Did they say Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty
Snow White.
or Snow White?
Mm-hmm. He
Yeah.
did. Yep. They
Okay.
actually did, which was kind of surprising. Apparently, they were a little worried about it, so they like hired like a team of lawyers before it even dropped, and like sent like some of the things over to Disney before, so just in case they wouldn't get like sued or something.
Which, yeah, makes sense. I mean, Disney sues over like the likeness of people all the time.
Disney is the Nintendo of the entertainment world.
Actually. Goodness, terrible. Yeah.
But right off the rip, my very first thing I wrote down is one of the best openers of any movie period.
With him being in his like
the All-Star sequence, All-Star by Smash Mouth, like the second he like busts open the door and it just like goes the whole time that song is playing. It's such a good sequence. Like those opening credits are excellent. I absolutely loved it because anytime you hear that song, you know it's Shrek.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a one-hit wonder, but like,
yeah, that's true.
So good.
Yeah. I mean, the first thing I put down was the animation looks dated, but that's just because I looked at it. Also, just to go back to that, every single person that's like a person and not like a creature, that is kind of background, just kind of looks the same.
Yeah.
Which is just funny.
Okay, but just because it's dated doesn't mean it's bad, though. I don't think it's bad because literally the second thing I wrote down was small chase sequence of Donkey, really well animated.
There are scenes where like their feet look like they're sliding across the floor. Like there's a scene where Shrek is like slow-mo running, like for a second, and it just looks so unnatural. And then like they quicken up. They're good. Yes, I'll say that it is dated, which makes it not. I'm not saying when I say dated, I guess you can tell. I'm just saying that like it doesn't age well, and doesn't mean it's like bad over the time, but it doesn't also mean that it's completely good because there are spots where I'm like that looks rough. Also, one other thing to go off that, this movie has like really weird camera angles.
Mm-hmm.
Like they like play with like random there's a shot where Donkey looks like up fully at Shrek and you see like Shrek from underneath.
Oh yeah.
And it's like super ugly and it's just like funny. There's a scene when they're like on the bridge to go into the castle and they put the camera like it's such a weird angle. They put it like over the left shoulder of Donkey, but it's like slightly down and looking. It's like such a weird shot. And I just like it was just like weird to me, and I was like, "What an interesting shot to have."
Yeah.
But like, I liked it. It was just like, it's unique.
Yeah. I love the Shrek Donkey meeting when he's like running away and they like bump into each other. From then up until like they like go to bed, it's so funny. Like he just keeps talking and talking and talking, and like, oh my gosh.
Talk about like perfect casting, like Eddie Murphy. That's who it is, right? Donkey?
Yeah,
such a good choice.
He considers the Shrek movies like some of his best work, apparently.
It's so good. Like he's the comedic relief in this, and like there was not a single time where he made a joke, and I was just like, okay, it's too much, or like it ruined like the thing. Like I was saying this earlier, that DreamWorks is really good with that, but like, oh my goodness, every time he made a joke, I like thought it was funny. I wrote down like some bits that he was saying because I just thought it was so funny. Like one of them, he's in the castle and the dragon is like falling in love with him, and he blows like a smoke ring of like a heart at him.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, I'm as mad as I'll have to go if you keep blowing smoke rings. It's so funny. He says another one where he just goes, he starts like walking away and he goes, before this is over, I'm gonna need some serious therapy. Look at my eye twitching. And he's just like, it's like
his whole head is like twitching.
Walking away. Yeah. It's just like his bits are so funny.
When they like first meet each other, he's like, once I ate some rotten berries, there was, what do you say? Farts coming out of my butt nasty or something like that. I don't even know.
I think he was like saying that like Shrek stunk or something.
Yeah.
Oh, he's like, yo, man, stink. Bringing up like a time where he just like ate a bunch of nasty stuff. And he's like, oh, who would ever want to live here when he sees his house? And Shrek's like, this is my house. He's like, oh, I love what you did. I love what you did with the place. That's a nice boulder.
I like that boulder. That's a nice boulder.
It's so good.
And in the morning, I'm making waffles.
it's like these little things. There's later at the end, like Shrek is like being stubborn or something, and I literally just wrote
He
this
like
down.
sings to him. That part.
No, he says, "You're so wrapped up in layers, onion boy." Like it was like such like a quick line that he just like walked past, but I thought it was so funny.
I think I mean, right off the rip, like Donkey gets off to like a great start when he like when he first starts talking. He's like, "You seen a house fly, you may seen a horse fly, but you ain't never seen a donkey fly." And he like falls right away. Just like the first line is just like great. I love it.
There's another scene with Donkey later when Shrek like gets Farquaad and the people to come get Fiona because he's mad at her, and like Donkey isn't paying attention, and he like says something, and he looks up and there's knights, and he's like, "Who said that? Not the donkey." And he like walks away. It's so funny. Like there's just so many little like things that are just. I think like Eddie Murphy just says it like so. It's just he's such a good voice actor. He just cleanly like says
incredible.
Everything's written so well.
Honestly, so good. Honestly, like a highlight of the movie is just his character. Donkey's so fantastic.
Also, like I like the contrast of like Shrek. Every time the Shrek tries to make a joke, it's always like such an uncomfortable joke, or like it's so weird, and everybody's just like, "All right."
Yeah.
Like I think it was like 2 times where he like makes a joke really, and neither of them land.
Yeah.
Like there's the one where he goes to the castle and he says that, like the overcompensating joke.
Oh
and then
yeah.
Donkey's just like, okay, and then he brings it up later when like they roll up to Fiona, and he's like, I have no idea what he's talking, or he's like, I think it means, and then Shrek like cuts him off. But yeah. Also, this movie. Speaking of, like, rewatching it, oh my gosh, there's so many like adult jokes.
Oh,
that
tons.
Just, like, that like, or there's adult jokes, and then there's just jokes that only like adults would truly get. That like as a kid, I just was like, I have literally no idea what that means. It wasn't even like an adult like humor joke.
Yeah.
Like the asthmatic one, I really as a kid, like I didn't really know what asthmatic was. I guess and
there's no way
over my head. There's another one that I can't think of. That like there was a moment where I was like, that's like funny, and as a kid, I just wouldn't understand like what that even is.
Yeah.
But I forget what it is.
Yeah, I think Donkey's amazing, and there's like so many like jokes that just go under the radar, and then once you watch it again, it's like, oh my goodness. Of course, there's like the meme of just Farquaad just being like, that's a sacrifice that I'm willing to make. Like all of you, some of you may die, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Just like even like things like that are just so good.
He goes like the winner will have the challenge of going to get Fiona, and if he does not succeed, then the runner-up shall go, and so on and so on. It's like, all right.
It's so good.
Yeah, I wrote a bunch of other bits which you can get into that I just wrote funny bits, and I was just like things that I saw or something. That was great that I can just roll through later.
I don't know why, but I love the Farquaad gingerbread man scene.
Yes.
I just think it's hilarious.
I like how I have there written down how he's getting like waterboarded in milk in the beginning.
Yeah, he is.
It's just like, it's great. I kind of get that scene. No, like I get that scene, but I don't get the Muffin Man scene. Like the Muffin Man thing. I
think it's just like because he's just trying to get rid of all the fairy tale creatures, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's just like I don't know, just playing into like the stereotype. I don't know. I just think it's hilarious though. He's married to the Muffin Man. The Muffin Man. The Muffin Man.
Have you seen that in Spanish? It's even better in Spanish.
No, that sounds amazing.
It's so good. It's so good in Spanish.
I love him. I think he's hilarious.
Yeah. It's great.
I think Farquaad's amazing. Can I just say real quick? Farquaad is such a funny character. I don't know why. I just find him so hilarious.
I love the intro scene where like they get like he's walking up. Like the intro scene of Farquaad is like him going up to the Muffin Man shot, and him like walking into the torture room, and like
oh yeah,
I know he's short, but I haven't seen it in a while. And like the first shots you see of him are like from a low or above, or like making him look really tall.
Yeah.
And then it's like a wide shot of like 2 guards standing by the doors, and he walks in a frame, and he just starts getting like smaller and smaller until he's like at the guard's like waist. And I'm just like, oh, okay, nice. And then he walks in and like lowers the table to his height. It's great. I love that he's so tiny.
Oh,
also
so
like
good.
his random city that he made.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many like.
I think it's called like Uluk or something.
Yeah,
or
something like
Ulok.
that.
It's like a weird name.
Yeah, like when Shrek and Donkey roll up, there's like a parking lot for carriages in the front.
Yeah.
And then there's like a ticket stand to walk in or whatever, and there's like a line, and like the mascot of the place is literally just like a Farquaad head, and he just starts running in between the ropes to get back get away from Shrek. It's so funny. Oh, it's great. Yeah.
Oh, it's good
Another
stuff.
talking about characters again, Shrek is actually like an honestly like sad and like kind of deep character.
Mm-hmm.
Like I never like kind of realized like because I haven't seen it in a while like the character of Shrek.
Yeah.
But it's so sad. Like he's literally a character that's just like everybody thinks he's ugly and like scary and mean, and so he's just like why not then like
embrace it.
Mean.
Yeah.
Like yeah, and he's just like I'm ugly and I'm scary or whatever.
Yeah.
But then he starts like softening up throughout the movie.
Yeah.
To like Donkey and stuff, and oh my gosh. Also, that dynamic of Donkey and Shrek is so just like
it's
so
incredible.
Wholesome.
It's so good.
I love it.
I think it's like perfectly illustrated when he's talking about layers, and he like his first like reaction is to like reference an onion, when then Donkey's like, "Hey, nobody likes onions. What about cake?" And it's like it's just like so perfect. Like it illustrates it so well. I love that.
Yeah, I like it. It's great.
One scene that like kind of didn't like stick out, but like I saw with like different eyes because like again like a later rewatch is when they roll up to the competition and all of a sudden it becomes a WWE match. Like somehow he's just like in like a boxing ring all of a sudden that like horses were in, but it's clearly a boxing ring. And then all of a sudden like the crowd's like, "Get him with the chair!" And there's like a chair out of nowhere. This like breaks over like two people, and I'm just like, "What is going on?" He like jumps off the ropes and like does like a backflip. I was like, "What is this?" All of a sudden, it was like a WWE match, and I never like ever even noticed. Like obviously, I noticed like it was a boxing ring, but like I was like, "Hold up, this is literally a WWE match." All of a sudden.
Yeah. Directors must have been having like a field day with this movie.
Oh
like,
yeah.
They literally just like anything fun like. Oh my goodness! There's like, why not make this into a boxing match?
Yeah, I agree.
Also, like the little things like that, or like the when he gets the magic mirror and he asks for like a princess, and then he gives him like 3 options, and he starts doing like a game show where he's like introducing them.
Yeah.
And then like all the people behind him, like the mirror was like, pick one you want, and all of them were like, pick one, pick 2.
Yeah.
Like yelling at her which one to pick. Oh, and it's great. Honestly, the weakest character in this is probably Fiona. That's just because like. I don't know. Fiona's kind of boring in this movie.
She wasn't like bad, but like yeah, I kind of agree. I think just all the other ones are so strong, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, she did her like job, I guess, which is kind of like softening up Shrek. I guess I don't know. I don't know. I mean, she's a love interest towards Shrek.
Yeah,
but like she's pretty stale, I think.
It was fine. I think she did her job. Like, she wasn't, like, bad. It was just, like, the other characters were just so good that it just, like... You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're, like...
Yes?
I have other funny things now I was going to get into. Just, like, random things that I saw throughout the movie.
I was just going to say, one of the things that I wrote down... Sorry, that's going to play into your thing. Is, the script is, like, one of the highlights of this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like, hands down.
It's so good. That's so good. I mean, yeah. Another thing, just talking about, like, we talked about music before, when, like, the intro scene. They have, like, just random songs.
It's so good.
That are just, like, it's so good, though. Like, I'm just like, I mean, now you hear it and you're like, oh, that's a Shrek song.
Yeah, they just work.
Just, like, because, it's just for Shrek. Like, the one where it's like, I'm on my way.
Yeah.
Like, who would have picked that song?
Yeah, that was literally my very next bullet point. Excellent movie music choices.
Yeah, it's so good. Like, they just fill it so nicely.
Yeah.
But some random things I saw in the movie that I thought were funny. I said the waterboarding, the cooking milk was funny. When they're in the castle, he saves Fiona and he's running back, and there's a massive book open, and I paused it and read the book. And it said it's a cookbook, and it's called Nightly Treats, as in like a night. and there's like a picture of a knight next to it, and it says choice cuts of knight, and it has like a thing, and there's like chopped up bits of like the armor.
No
and
way!
stuff.
Oh
and
my
it's
gosh!
just it's so funny. Then next to it, there's like a cauldron. It's just like it's so funny to me. There's another one later when like he's in the it then cuts to like Farquaad in the castle at like night, which is such a first of all, what a weird scene.
I
Like,
thought the
that's
same thing. I was
What
like,
a
and
crazy
mostly
scene.
because like the mirror was just like, fine, like I'm so sick of this.
Yeah.
Like his face, I was like, what is going on?
He's in bed, just like it's so weird. It's weird.
It's super
But
sus. Super sus.
Yeah, he's they like pan through the room, and there's a drawing of him and like Fiona, and he is like standing on top of the. I thought this was just funny. He's standing on top of like the Slay Dragon as like a booster to like be as tall as Fiona, and he's like just at her height, but he's like standing on top of like a whole dragon.
Do you notice the other
like,
thing?
Just, like the short jokes.
Do you notice the other thing
What?
in that scene when it because it pans from the ground and then it comes up? The bear rug, dude.
Yeah.
It was the mama bear, bro. Oh my god! In the very beginning, it shows like a whole like it was the dad, the mom, and like the little kid, and then later you only see the dad and the little kid in Shrek Swamp, and then later you see the mom as a freaking rug, dude. Oh my gosh, so good.
That's literally my next one is the mama bear, the three bears, is a carpet on the floor.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I have it's like a really weird scene. It's kind of funny. Like playing on like how I mean just thinking about it now, like all the princesses are like Disney characters and stuff, and then Fiona's like the only like kind of weird one that isn't. And she goes out like the first night she's saved, and she starts like singing to the birds.
Oh yeah.
And she hits like a super high pitched note, and the bird just blows up. Like what a waxy! And then she just takes the birds' eggs and like cooks them and eats them. Like what the heck? Like,
I think that was like another jab at Disney there, because like the whole Snow White thing was that she, you know what I mean? Like she's like one with nature or whatever.
Yeah, that's always like that's kind of just like a trope in Disney movies. Like all the princesses can sing to like creatures.
Yeah.
And then she also like gets like a web and starts catching flies in like a spider web, and then makes it like cotton candy for Shrek.
Yeah, that's so gross.
That's so many random things like that, which is really it's really nasty. But yeah, also okay. French Robin Hood.
That was my last one that I wrote down. I was like, why is Robin Hood French?
Like, why is he so sus? So weird. Like, it was so out of nowhere.
I know.
Like, why did you have to add this?
He like comes in, they're like, what is going on? All of a sudden they pan, it's just like a diorama of like what like.
Yeah. It's so weird. And I think in Merry Men when singing they call him Monsieur Hood. Or something like that.
Monsieur Hood, yeah.
Yeah. It's so that whole scene is like just so out of nowhere. It's so funny.
I enjoyed it. It was super good.
Mm.
I think just rewatching this movie is just such a fun time that you pick up on like you remember stuff. You're like, oh yeah, I remember this, and then you'd be like, but you pick up like that extra like 10% that either you missed as a child or you completely forgot. Oh, it's so good.
Mm. Also, one of the last things was just kind of funny to me. Just watching it. It isn't really true. I wrote down the end transition for Fiona. She's like an ogre, and then she like kisses Shrek, and then she flies up and starts transforming. And like usually when people start transforming, like their arms will like jut out, and there's like a bolt of light, and you'll see like their hand, like if it's like Beauty and the Beast or something in the Beast, you'll see his like head slowly transforming into a regular one. Every feature of her just stays the same. It's like her arm juts out and like light comes out, and it's just still her like ogre hand.
Yeah.
And it's just so funny. I just thought that was like a funny sequence.
I feel like after watching this, I have to like go watch Shrek 2 because allegedly I've seen like a bunch of like arguments online that Shrek 2 is the best sequel movie of any sequel. But like I haven't watched it in so long that I want to say that's false. But like again, I haven't watched it in so long.
I don't really remember it, but all I remember is like liking it more than the first one.
I just remember fragments, but like I almost like can't imagine that being the case. But again, I haven't watched it in like 10 years.
I might watch it tonight, honestly, but like I remember it being really good. And honestly, they're both like quite high rated. Like, I mean, they've kind of become memes, so obviously they're gonna be like rated high, but like 7.8 on IMDb.
88% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's
84
high.
on Metacritic. Yeah.
Usually they're all actually pretty even, but even this one, like, IMDb is low.
Yeah.
Compared to everything else.
Yeah.
Google, like, users, 87% of people like this movie.
The app I use, Letterboxd is a 3.8, which is good. It's like almost a 4, and like around a 4 is kind of like a good like regular movie.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen a 5, but I mean 3.8 is what, like,
I don't know,
like a 7.5, kind of somewhere around there, which is good. But also Letterboxd is kind of snobbish, but whatever.
76.
If you guys. Hey, yeah, something like that. A little shout out, right? If you guys want.
If it's out of 5, don't you just multiply it by 20 to get out of 100?
I guess. Yeah.
So then it's 7.6 or 76. So that's even lower than IMDb. Yeah. Then you correct me with saying that they snobby.
I mean, it's just the social media for movies, which I like the app because honestly, it rates movies very well most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But because they're like people who like love films instead of somebody on IMDb just being like, "Man, I love this film," or Rotten Tomatoes, like, oh my gosh, I hate Rotten Tomatoes. But also, what the heck? Just looking at this now, Shrek is 613,000 reviews. I don't know if that's a lot or not, but that seems like a lot on IMDb.
Did you see it was just added to the?
Oh yeah.
It was just added to the Smithsonian, right?
Yeah. That's like cultural like film or something like that.
And do you know Shrek has his own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame?
Oh yeah, he does. I think I saw that on the trivia.
Yeah.
Also, the wiki page for Shrek was so funny. I looked up the castle because I forget what it is or something.
Okay.
Just because I was like, is this like a real like mythological page or like some like fairy tale like place that like they've just kind of used again?
Yeah.
And like I don't think it is because I looked it up and then I clicked on like a page. I thought it was just Wikipedia, but it was like a Shrek wiki, and it was like this is a magical kingdom where you need to marry a princess in order to be king or something. And I was like, what the heck? It's so weird. But yeah, the wiki page is a lot of fans of this movie, just probably because Shrek has just become a meme.
Yeah.
But honestly, like rewatching this, just like again, this movie, like, I mean, obviously is just like I feel like it's just a comedy most of the time than like being like serious topics like Pixar or Disney now will do.
Yeah.
But like, it still hits you in the feels if you wanted to. Like Shrek is like just sad sometimes, where I'm like, oh my gosh, it feels so bad for Shrek.
Yeah, like when they have that like heart to heart on the edge of like the cliff or whatever in the moonlight.
Yeah.
It like paints like the actual like back like the underlying story, like what's like he's feeling like going on. But like there's like for lack of a better word, there's layers to this movie, just like an onion.
Like a cake, some might say.
Some might say.
Yeah, but it's so good.
Yeah. I agree.
Like I just rewatching it, I'm like, it's funnier as an adult. Honestly,
I
it's
agree.
more of a like that's what DreamWorks does. Honestly, so like most of the time, I feel like they make animated films that kids might like.
Yeah.
Animated films for adults that kids might like. Honestly, like,
I never noticed
so
it.
Funny.
I never noticed the first movie I noticed that on is Madagascar. Like the first time I watched it, that was the first like movie I remember realizing like, oh my, there's like layers to this whole thing.
Yeah.
And like now rewatching this, it's like, is this like the first movie that kind of like animated movie that kind of did this? I don't really know, like to the extent that it is like now. Do you know what I mean? Like, did this like kind of start that off or whatever?
Maybe. Honestly, like you bringing it up, I remember thinking this. I was like, this movie is almost like what Sausage Party wanted to be, but like they just went over the top.
Oh, I mean,
like just being stupid. But like Shrek is like such a good balance of like without having to be like super like profane or whatever. I mean, like Sausage Party is literally just like, let's throw in a curse word every other second
It's
because
ridiculous.
it's written by Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
But like this movie is almost what it should be, where it's like for adults that kids might also, I guess, like if you want kids to watch, because I mean they're hitting all age groups.
Like you can have
Sausage
kids
Party,
in the room, it's fine.
Yeah, but like it's like more of it'll be funnier if you're older.
Yeah.
Like you'll enjoy it more when you're older.
I agree.
And it's just like I just was watching, I'm like, this is like a good balance.
Yeah.
Of like not too kiddish and not like a stupid Sausage Party movie.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Just...
It was so fun. It was a great rewatch. Like I said, I kind of want to watch the second one now just to see what's up, and kind of see if I got the same thoughts. But I remember enjoying the second one, but I don't remember enjoying it that much that it's that good. But again, I haven't seen it in like 10, 12 years.
Wait, scrolling through, I went on their IMDb page and I'm scrolling through, and it's kind of funny. Wait, first of all, the second one is when Puss in Boots comes along, which is just funny.
Antonio Banderas.
Yeah. Oh, they all get turned into like Shrek. They get turned back into human. Donkey gets turned into a horse and stuff.
Yeah.
And that frog.
Don't remember the frog.
Oh, that.
I just remember
Fairy Godmother.
Yeah, I just remember there's like American Idol at the end, basically.
Oh yeah, there is.
Yeah, I remember I just remember fragments, but I don't remember the whole like thing.
Yeah, I remember it being like really funny though.
It got a 7.2, so it didn't really go down that much, further from like at least on IMDb. Dude, on Rotten Tomatoes it got even higher. It got an 89. Last one got an 88. So like that's great. Honestly, maybe it's not too bad. I don't know. Like I said, I have to watch it again. It got a 3.7 on Letterboxd, which is just 0.1 down. So, yeah, but then like you go to Shrek the Third or Shrek Forever After, and it's just like Shrek 3 bad. 42%, bro. It's halved. They halved it. Less than halved, actually. This one's 2.6 on Letterboxd. Oh my gosh. Yeah, they just whatever. But those two, 1 and 2, are really good. And obviously, now that it's officially an American cultural film, you have to watch Shrek. So if you're watching this and somehow you've lived your life without watching Shrek, it's so fun. Just watch it. But yeah, it's so good. Also, you know what I don't get, which like they don't really explain at all, besides like Farquaad just hating him, is like why Farquaad doesn't like Farquaad doesn't want any fairy tale creatures because he wants his like city and like area to be like perfect, and it's just like they don't really explain it very much. Yeah, which like I guess they don't need to, because I've been just thinking about it. Every fairy tale creature is so like weird and odd. Like all the blind. Speaking of, the blind mice are just like funny. Those are great. But, like the blind mice are really weird. Like the 3 little pigs are just like. Honestly, I feel like they're gay. They're just like thieves. Like, just thinking about it, like, they kind of just, like, seem... They're thieves? Yeah, do they, like, steal a bunch of stuff? No, the mice do. Doesn't they steal? They just kind of seem, like, a little fruity. Really? They kind of do that with a couple... Oh, yeah, I remember what you're talking about, actually. Like, they make them a little sus. Like, Robin Hood is a little sus, but... Nah, he's just French, dude. But, like, he's just French, dude. It's fine. Oh, yeah, you're right, yeah. They just, like... I don't know, they made, like, all the creatures, like, kind of, like, the fairy tales, like... obscure and weird, so you can kind of tell, I guess, why he would hate them. Yeah, Farquaad, but funny. Also, like, just thinking about it, the scene where when Farquaad is with that cookie, he just like crumbles his like leg up like it was nothing. Yeah, like he broke his legs off. Apparently, like he literally just snapped his legs off. Yeah, he like broke his legs, but then in the very next scene, like they're just nowhere to be found. What do you mean? Like he broke his legs, and then like they're like next to him or whatever, right? And then it pans away, and then it comes back, and they're just not even there anymore. There's a couple like weird like goofs like that. He walks with them, and then I remember one of them he like crushes into powder, and he like does this, and it like just falls in the ground. But yeah, the other one must have just disappeared. Yeah. But he has it on at the end of the film, like he's on a crutch and he has one leg. Yeah, the cookie, which is kind of funny. Yeah. I remember he's back in the second movie too, but again, I don't really remember the second one very much. Yeah. But all in all, this movie's great. I honestly would give it like
So I mean, a 7.8 I think on IMDb is quite fair.
Yeah.
Like
I'd say
I don't
maybe
really
an 8.
I don't want to give it an 8 to be honest, but I think like right around there, 7.8, 7.5 is good.
I'd say like a 79 to 80, something in there.
Yeah. I don't like using 100. Just use 10. Let's just
80.
use 10. So we'll do the same thing and let's
8
just use
then,
10.
child.
Okay, there you go. All right, that's our official grading thing now. Is 10.
Yes, sir. Anything
right.
else you have to say? Because I have nothing.
I have nothing else. Do we want to announce what we're watching like next week?
I don't even know what we're watching next week.
The movie that comes out on Friday, Thomas.
Oh, all right, is that what we're doing?
Yeah, I want to do that.
Okay, we can do
it. Now that there's some controversy. Is that a word? That's a word, right?
Yeah, it's just a weird pronunciation of it. Controversy.
Now that there's some controversy that I've read with it, that it might be like not good, I kind of want to watch it. Do we want to?
Yeah, that's fine.
Do you want to?
If you want, since you're choosing.
All right, I kind of like it.
Okay.
If you guys want to watch along with us, that's kind of what a podcast. Also, just as a suggestion, because I've been listening to them lately. If you want another movie podcast to listen to, because ours you just can't get enough of ours because ours is new. You should listen to Carpool Critics. They're a very funny podcast that talk about movies and such, which I really like. They just do random stuff. Like they just did a Lord of the Rings one, which is why I brought that up before, but not on camera, I guess.
Ooh.
But they've done like Dark Knight things, and they're like dispersing and stuff. They're if you want to laugh, watch their Wonder Woman 84 one, because I don't know, I just found it funny when I was listening to it.
Dude, I was talking to Greg the other day, and he's like, I don't understand why people didn't like this movie. I'm like, oh goodness.
Oh my gosh.
It was funny.
Yeah,
another podcast, listen to Binge Mode. Super good podcast. They're doing Marvel right now, but they've done Star Wars, Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, other stuff. Good entertainment podcast as well. Anyways, do you want to announce what we're doing next week?
If you want to watch the movie with us, so because it's a new movie and you don't want anything spoiled, we are watching The Little Things. It is out on HBO
and theaters
right now, or in theaters. Yeah, I think it's coming out on Friday. It is releasing. Unless they push it back, 29.
It will have come out the Friday before this drops. So you have a while. You have a couple days.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because this is dropping next week. And then we're watching. Okay, yeah. So, yeah. You have a while.
You have a couple days. Yeah. We have a week from when this drops till when we talk about it. But it will have come out for like 4 or 5 days before. Yeah. 3 days from now. Mm-hmm. Anyway, that's what we're doing.
By the time this goes up, you can probably find a pretty high quality one to pirate. Not saying that you should, but I'm just saying that you could. But anyways, thank you guys for listening. I guess I'll do the outro today because you usually do it. Thank you guys for taking the time to watch. If you like this video, why don't you go ahead, hit that like button, share it if you want with your friends and family. Leave a comment on what your favorite DreamWorks movie is, or an underrated DreamWorks movie, or just hit us with a comment about Shrek the movie, because honestly, there's so many little bits that you can just put in there.
Facts.
So good.
Facts.
If you guys want to also follow our socials down there, I don't think anything has been posted on those yet, but we shall one day. I've been thinking of tweeting some things, but because that's my side. But I might do that. But yeah, other than that,
subscribe if you haven't already.
Oh, subscribe! I always forget that. Subscribe. Well, first of all, if you're not subscribed, what are you doing?
Yep. Facts.
I don't see the analytics, but I'm sure that most of you are subscribed that are watching this, and if you're not, I will find you, kill you. Whoa. But subscribe, and why not just hit that?
Hit the notification bell.
Why don't you just hit all of them? Hit that notification bell. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Try to do a time. Actually, I'm not gonna challenge you to do a trial. That's some failing YouTube channel stuff right there.
Facts.
But why not do that if you'd like. If you'd like to keep updated with how we're posting and see our episode next week on The Little Things.
Yes, sir.
Other than that, I think I have hit all the bases.
Yep.
I'm Isaac.
Good old home run.
I'm pretty sure he'll be on my left. if I am imagining it correctly. This
You're
guy
pointing
right
the right
here
way. Oh my, you're pointing a lot now.
is
A lot of pointing.
Thomas. And we are Brothers on Air. Thank you for listening, guys. See you next week.
See you next week. Grogu.
Yo.